Hi, Daniela. Good afternoon.
Hi,
everyone.
Terrence.
Welcome back.
I know. Spring break was really fun. I love spring break. But it is really good to see you and to see your face and find out where you are today, because things have definitely changed. I'm glad to see you're not in the tunnel.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about where I am a little later. I am on set today somewhere.
You're on set.
It's going to be super exciting.
People.
I am. And I was just telling the people around me earlier how exciting it is just to be able to welcome someone with a hug and a kiss, because, you know, we haven't been able to do that for so long.
What's that like?
You know,
do you not? I don't know.
You know what? I gave our guest that's coming on in a few, I gave her the opportunity to make the first move. So when I walked through the door, I sort of stood there and waited to see if she was going to extend her hand or a hug or a kiss. And she extended a hug and a kiss. And I embraced it. I totally welcomed it.
So you were receptive to it. Okay, so now you're in her house and you were receptive to it.
Yes. We're in her studio. Yes, very, very receptive to it. And I embraced it. It felt weird, though. It just felt weird to be in someone else's arm for a quick second. But I welcome it.
I think that's an interesting thing. Like, how are we going to look back at the days of COVID? For sure. Are we going to think about it as Blur's Day? Like what day of the week it was? One thing for sure we're going to know is that it was definitely transformational. I really do think it's going to be a blur. We're going to be hugging people. This is going to be the greatest New Year's Eve party coming up for 2022. We're going to have a great reunion, which leads us to today's show and the theme of today's show. So why don't I just get started over here?
Yeah,
I want to welcome everyone. Welcome, everyone. We are Looking Good with Daniela and Tea Coffee, a lifestyle and fashion talk show featuring creatives and entrepreneurs who do it all despite it all. I'm Daniela Platt.
And I'm Terrence Coffee, and we are creative connoisseurs who look forward to sharing our voices from inside the business along with others in our creative fashion and lifestyle world. We're so excited to be back because creativity is all heart. And this show is here to inspire the inner you.
Perhaps you guys have seen it. We have an article in this month's Fashion Manuscript. It's about this show. You can catch it on the Fashion Manuscript's website. It just talks about all the inspiring people we've had on the show, from Resort Collection, their support of the Barstool Fund. We had Rana and Adrian who answered the mayor's call to pivot immediately and create masks. We've had the Love Your Body, Karen Michelle on talking about how she's supporting artists for trauma. We've really had incredible stories on this show, and you guys can check out the article about our show. It's in the Fashion Manuscript this month. It's really these stories about people who do it all despite it all. We love them, and that is what we're here to share with you. And
to Daniela's point, today's theme is fashion, fragrance, and friends. And we've missed all of you, and we're so excited to be back with you. And this show is about reuniting. And make sure you follow us at Looking Good Yaya on Instagram, or myself, Terrence Coffee, on LinkedIn. We have some contests that we're going to get into a little bit later. And again, welcome to the 8th show.
Our 8th show. Yeah, so our 8th show. So just a little bit about me. I'm Daniela Platt, as we already mentioned. I'm a creative producer and business development strategist who founded Looking Good Communications. By the way, means you as you are. You're looking good, you as you are. The premise of my life's work and mission. I want for everybody to take their art and their heart, their message into the world. And I've been doing this for 2 decades for fashion magazines and advertising agencies. I even wrote the book about it. And I'm giving away the book as an ebook for free. It's at danielaplatt.com. So if anybody is interested in taking their art, their heart, their message, learning 3 ways anybody can have a product, fashion line, and sell like crazy, go get the ebook for free. It's at danielaplatt.com. I love hearing your stories. More than hearing your stories, my favorite thing is sharing it, which is what makes this platform, this show, so unique. We are broadcast to millions of people.
Super exciting. Super exciting, Daniela. And I'm Terrence. I'm an event connoisseur where I plan events from your weddings to your birthday parties to your anniversaries to fashion shows to a product launch and to we got a fragrance launch. Look back there, and we're gonna get into
Terrence, tell us where you are.
That leads me to talking about where I am. I am on set here at the House of Fragrances with Sue Phillips, and I'm gonna get into who she is shortly. Super excited to be here, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you, Daniela, and we're gonna talk about where I am and meet Sue right after this.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait to meet Sue. Hi,
and
Sue.
We're back.
Hi, how are you?
So I'm right here at the House of Fragrances with my friend Sue.
Hi there.
Sue and I go way back. Sue was my neighbor. She was teaching fragrances right next door to me at one of the fashion colleges here in New York City. She's been called the Scent Whisperer. Sue is internationally known as a self-proclaimed entrepreneur, and known for signature scents for Burberry, Tiffany, fragrance bars for fragrance lovers. And today, she is here to share about the miracles in what she calls the scent healing journey. How she has been teaching people suffering from COVID-19 loss of smell with their brains. And also, she has this amazing book. I want you to check out this book. I'm going to put it to the camera so you can see it. It's called The Power of the Perfume. And I want to just read you something off of the back of the book. It says, a true entrepreneur, Sue crafted a fun, educational, informative, and interactive event, and my team and I love the experience and the fragrance we created. Highly recommend it. That was from Kevin Harrington, the original shark on Shark Tank. And so I'm going to let Sue just talk a little bit about who she is.
Well, I'm so happy to be here, Daniela and Terrence. Thank you for having me. Your title of the podcast is Looking Good, and I always like to add, and smelling good too, because if you look good and you have your own fragrance that you absolutely love that reflects who you are, you really will look good and you'll feel good. So, also with looking and feeling, our strongest sense is our sense of sight, but our most powerful is our sense of smell, because our sense of smell connects to memory and emotions and taste and smell. So think about how powerful our sense of smell is. And I just would like to say that, we are, from the second we're born, we smell automatically. We recognize our mothers from our olfactory sense. And nobody ever teaches us how to smell. We're taught how to write and to speak and to look and where we're going, but nobody teaches us how to smell. And so when you lose your sense of smell, it's pretty devastating. So I've become the scent whisperer because I'm actually helping people who have had COVID and who've lost their sense of smell. I'm trying to help them regain it.
Cool.
That is an absolute miracle. That is such a remarkable story. And it's so true. I always think, I was just immediately thinking of the Modern Family episode where Ed O'Neill has his face is buried in the cooking recipes for his mother. It takes him back to his youth. And I feel that way all the time. We walk down the street and we have scents and smells, and it takes us to different places. It's really true.
So Daniela, I want to circle back and just give it back to you so you can talk about who our other guest is, and then we're going to get into conversations with Sue.
I will. That is a really good idea. So we have Sue with us, as you guys know. I also want to introduce our other guests today. Meet nurse turned fashion designer Alexis Rheinwald-Jones of the Source Apparel. She's here alongside Maria, who's known as Mo. So Maria Groezinger of LA Apparel Sources. Maria is a LA manufacturing inner circle expert and producer behind the scenes of many brands that you know. Today, you're going to hear her magical story about how Mo linked arms with Alexis, how Alexis pivoted from her day-to-day job of being a nurse to creating her dream fashion design collection. Mo specializes in what she calls do it with you to do it for you, full-service apparel manufacturing services. The Source Apparel was born out of Alexis's personal values of feminism, caring for the earth, and body positivity, and justice for all people. Thank you so much, and we will get to talk about your story after we watch a little clip from Sue.
I'm very excited that I have finally written my book, The Power of Perfume, and how to choose it, and how to wear it, and how to enjoy it. And it's my homage, if you will, to the last 40 years of my career. It's really a compilation of all the articles I've written, presentations and the appearances and the speaking engagements I've done.
And Sue Phillips helped launch fragrances for Tiffany and Burberry.
So if you'd have told me growing up in South Africa that I would one day be working and creating and developing a fragrance for the renowned iconic brand Tiffany, I would have said, you're crazy. There is still a magic and a mystery about fragrance that a lot of people really don't know. And I hope people will love it and they'll read it and they'll enjoy it and they'll want to learn more about fragrance.
And we're back. So let's get into this here at the House of Fragrances with Sue. Just a little bit about Sue. Sue Phillips is on a mission to create magical fragrance experiences, drop by drop. Can I turn around and just show you? When I say drop by drop, drop by drop. This is amber. When I tell you this is some of the best stuff in the world. Sue is an internationally renowned fragrance expert and self-proclaimed entrepreneur, and founded her company, ScentWhisperer, Inc., where she creates custom fragrance events and bespoke perfumes for fragrance lovers, and conducts corporate training experiences, fragrance bars, and for Fortune 500 companies. Sue has also worked with many brands, which you all know, from Elizabeth Arden, one of the older ones, to Lancome, and became the vice president for Tiffany & Co. And spearheaded development and creation of the first Tiffany perfume. You never shared that with me.
Oh, I didn't?
That's amazing. And then launched Society for Burberry, and one of my favorite, Burberry for Men, fragrances. And Sue also developed original 3 Trish McVoy fragrances, and as well as brands for Avon and Lancaster and Diane von Furstenberg. Now, Sue has also created ScentWhisperer in 1990 to share her passion and knowledge of fragrance. And fragrance is a speaker, her book is she's a speaker and an author of her book, which we just saw in the previous video, The Power of the Perfume, how to choose it, wear it, and actually enjoy it. So with Sue's passions and expertise, you are guaranteed an innovative, interactive, and original fragrance and experience every time you are with her. So let's jump into this.
You forgot about educational and entertaining.
Educational, and that's how we met.
Entertaining and educational.
And she's also, she was teaching fragrances right next door to me at LIM College. And that's when I met her. And I was like, who is this amazing lady who's coming down the hallway with all these bottles? The first time I saw her coming into her classroom to teach students about these amazing scents that you can see right behind me here.
That's funny. You could smell her first before you even see her.
Right. So we have a clip that we want to show.
We just showed it.
Yeah. So we showed that previously. That's correct. So let's get into the conversation about it. So let's start with you, Sue. Where are you from? How did you get started in this business from Tiffany's, Burberry's, and then let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, I'm from the South.
I am too.
The very deep South. I'm more South than you.
How South?
I'm from South Africa.
Yes, you are.
But I'm now an American longer than I'm a South African. I've been here for so many years, and I fell in love with America and came to America originally to be an actress. And they told me that there are thousands of out-of-work actresses and we don't need another one. But because I could stand up in front of people and speak and perform, I was able to actually get a position at Elizabeth Arden as National Training Director for fragrance. And I had to learn about fragrance on the job. And they said to me, go to Macy's and you'll learn that, stay there for 3 months and get your orientation of how to talk to customers, greet customers, inspire them with fragrance. So I really learned about fragrance on the job, and that's a long time ago.
Wow. So that's great. I got my start too in this industry. Tell us a little bit about Atelier.
So after I was at Elizabeth Arden, and then I went to Lancôme, and then Tiffany, and then I started my own business after I left Tiffany because I had my daughter, and I called it Scentorium. I had a beautiful perfume studio down in Tribeca, New York, and it was lovely. And I had celebrities come in, Jamie Foxx, Katie Holmes, Zendaya, so many celebrities, as well as corporate events. And in 2008, of course, the economy's changed, and so I had to rethink things. And that was when I started thinking about custom fragrances. And it was wonderful being downtown in Tribeca. And then last year, because of the COVID, they were going to close the building, so I had to find another location. So I'm here on the Upper East Side, this beautiful boutique, Vanessa Noel Boutique, and I have my pop-up studio, my boutique. And
it's amazing in here.
And it's got a lovely vibe, and it's charming, and it's
great energy.
Great energy. And so this is what I do. I meet people here and basically take them on a fragrance journey and help them create their own signature scent.
Because you know what, Sue? Most of us don't know much about the world of fragrance.
Right.
So how do you come up with your big fragrances and know that they are right for that specific customer? Because I know you were showing me different scents earlier, and she gave me, let's say, 18 different scents, and out of those 18, I liked every one of them but one.
The one that
tell us about that, because I know very little about fragrance. How do you figure it out?
So, you know, having studied fragrance and having been in this fragrance industry for so long, there are certain fragrance families that, just like in art, you have 3 primary colors. In music, you have your 8 notes as an octave. Well, in fragrance, you have your 8 families: citrus, floral, woodsy, spicy, musk, herbaceous, animalic, and chypre. And a lot of people don't know what goes into a fragrance. So they smell a fragrance, they say, oh, I like it, or I love the beginning, I'm not sure about the middle, I don't like the end. And so what I do is I really help people, and I take them on a fragrance journey. And I show them from light to dark. It's like citrusy fragrances, like the ones used for the citrus, the green, the ozonic, fruity. And then we go to the medium or the middle notes, which are usually the florals and some spicy notes. And then we go to the robust, deep, and darker, enchanted ones. And so people then can actually decide which ones they like and select 1, 2, 3, or 4, and they combine them. And actually, if you just pass those blotter strips here, I bet you'll be able to tell which ones you like. So
pass them over to me. Can you do that?
So Terrence tried all of these, and you told me you loved every one of them except one. And the one that he didn't like was actually, believe it or not, it was a fragrance, a blend called aldehydic. Now, for fragrance lovers, they'll know that aldehydic is a made-up name from 2 words, al from alcohol and dehydrogenated carbon oil. And aldehydic was the molecule, man-made molecule, that was formulated to create with other fragrances like rose, jasmine, ylang ylang, and myrrh, Chanel No. 5 fragrance. And aldehydic is very powdery, it's very floral. And he said to me, what did you say? It reminded you of your?
I was like, no.
You said your grandfather.
Yeah, so it reminded me of like something my grandfather would wear.
So certain fragrances will definitely trigger memories. And aldehydic is a very kind of a note that was used in the Chanel No. 5. And Chanel No. 5 is 100 years old.
Wow.
So that was the fragrance that people in that time wore. And that's why we think it's a little old-fashioned. But if you put aldehydic...
I did use the word old-fashioned.
Yes.
I just think it's
if you use the aldehydic, say, with one of these lovely bright citrus notes or green or more zesty,
I'm going
you
to
can actually try.
So they can actually see the different names.
So those are...
I don't know if they can see them.
I don't know if you can see them, but we use blotter strips to actually evaluate fragrances, because if you put it on your skin, you can eventually run out of room. And also your body chemistry might change the fragrance. So we use blotter strips to make it very neutral so that what you're smelling is the actual fragrance, not mixed with anybody's body chemistry. And then that gives you the idea of how to decide which ones you want and which fragrance reflects who you are. So many, many fragrances have top notes, middle notes, and base notes. And truthfully, a lot of people don't know what goes in. You might love the top, not so much the middle, and maybe love the base, or you might love the base, but not the top and the middle. So there's a whole sort of variation and the time element with fragrance. You have to let the fragrance wear it on your body. But some people don't have time for that, and so they'll wear a fragrance and they'll realize as it's drying down, they might not like it, and they'll be disappointed, or they'll love the whole thing immediately, and that becomes their fragrance.
Wow, love that. So, Sue, can you thank you for sharing that. So can you, and educating our audience, can you share with us an aha moment of what's been happening lately? You're being called a scent whisperer. And I know that I've been reading, because I've been reading, you're in the press all over the world. We're so happy that we're able to have you on our show. You will be going on GMA, which better known as Good Morning America, and next month. Yes. So can you tell us a little bit about what's happening with you right now?
Well,
because you're saving so many lives and this from COVID, after healing people after COVID.
You know, I feel so grateful and so happy and excited and kind of humbled in a way, because I'm helping people who've actually lost their sense of smell through COVID. And I'm not a doctor and I'm not a scientist, but what happened, how this whole thing happened, is NBC wanted to profile my book, and they asked to come in and do an interview with me. And before the interview, they said, Sue, do you think you can do something with people who've lost their sense of smell and taste? I said, well, I don't know, but we'll see. And they brought somebody in who was called a long hauler. That means somebody who hasn't been able to smell for 13 months.
Gosh.
And lady came, and I showed her the fragrances like I showed you today. I went through the blends, and as she was going through them, by the third or the fourth or the fifth or the sixth, she was getting sort of more and more used to smelling, and suddenly she had this incredible breakthrough. It was her eyes lit up. She got very emotional, and she said, oh, I can smell, and I'm smelling something, and I'm smelling something beautiful. Well, wow. She teared up, I teared up, the cameraman teared up, and that was an amazing moment, and it was so authentic. And then that was aired, and the next day, Inside Edition saw it, the New York Post saw it, People Magazine, Reuters. So it's been amazing. And through her and through doing this, I've had so many people contact me to say, I've lost my sense of smell and taste. Can you help me? So I meet people here. And if I can't meet them here, if they're not in New York or they're someplace else, we do Zoom scent sessions. And I call it a Zoom scent healing session. And we actually have made a little scent kit with all the blends that we ship out to the people. So I do a consultation with them via Zoom.
I love this. And this is great, because
this is an amazing story.
She's helping people get their lives back.
This is an incredible story. Sue, have you seen one particular scent really spike as a trend, or is it just everybody reacts differently?
That's the amazing thing. Everybody reacts differently. We had a young boy from Chicago who flew in with his father on a Friday night. They came Saturday morning, 8:00, and this young boy hadn't been able to smell, and his name was Sahil. Well, when Sahil got to the 6th or 7th, blend, and he was able to smell. He had a reaction. His father was so emotional. He called his wife in Chicago and said, "You won't believe this," and it was incredibly palpable. There's no rhyme or reason for what people can smell or what they can't smell, and there's no rhyme or reason where COVID hits what age group. So I've had men and women. I've had older, younger. And what has happened is through this terrible, terrible situation of COVID, it has actually accelerated awareness of our sense of smell. And people realize now that how important it is and how powerful it is, because if you can't smell, you can't taste. And
right.
So life's pleasures,
the two are connected.
Life's pleasures go bye-bye.
Wow. So what you're doing is teaching people how to smell with their brains. And
the reason I say that is because from the second we're born, we smell automatically. Nobody teaches us. So when they sit here and I take them on this journey, I want them to concentrate and really smell with their brain. And it seems to have some kind of a connection.
So the brain is sending a signal. So once you put this up to your nostril.
So your olfactory bulb is right here between the eyes. So as you smell, the frequencies and the vibrations go up to the olfactory bulb.
I can tell.
It goes up to the limbic system.
If you focus on this.
And as you smell, you start to think about, what does it remind you of? Do you see colors? Does it make you see a memory? Do you actually smell it? Do you like it? And so that is the power of the connection between the olfactory system and the olfactory bulb and the limbic system.
Wow. That's fantastic.
Congratulations, Sue. That's, everybody is looking to create some type of legacy with their life and your works. You've continuously reinvented yourself, but this is something that's completely unexpected and marvelous.
Yes.
So congratulations for figuring that out.
Thank you.
And Sue, you also have a multifaceted business. And tell us more about it and sprinkle in some wisdom for those creatives and entrepreneurs out there who are listening on how you do it all.
Well, I will tell you honestly that my entire life journey in America has been serendipity. I haven't planned anything. It's just happened. I came to America to be an actress. That didn't happen. I landed up in the cosmetic industry. I didn't plan that. I created fragrances for Tiffany. I certainly didn't plan that. If you'd have told me growing up in South Africa that I would be vice president of marketing for Tiffany and create fragrances, I'd say you're crazy. Then I started my own business because after when I left left Tiffany to have my daughter, I said, okay, what do? I become an entrepreneur, and so that's where ScentWhisperer came in. So I created fragrances for Burberry and and Avon. And then when 2008 happened, I had to reinvent myself again, and I did the custom fragrances. So as an entrepreneur, and I'd like to say as a Scentrepreneur.
I like that.
You have to be able to really pivot and, to see how things are going to merge. When you see a trend or you see something that appeals to you, I really feel that you have to go for it.
I concur.
I used to tell my students at FIT.
Go for it. Okay.
I said, go for it, number one. I said, number two, always be passionate about what you want to do.
Here, internally.
If your mother and father say, I want you to be a doctor or a lawyer or something, and that's not your passion, I would say, and your parents will kill me, but find what makes sense for you. And also, I also have some words of wisdom. Never give up. I never give up. In fact, I have a T-shirt.
Really?
Yes. I have to tell a story. Some people came to meet with me downtown in Tribeca. I was doing a women's group. They had these fabulous T-shirts on, and they had all these wonderful sort of inspirational sayings. So I'm doing my presentation. I said, ladies, wait a minute. What's going on with all these wonderful affirmational T-shirts? She said, Sue, we are from the Yes Ministry, the YES.
Okay, never heard
I like
that.
it. She said, do you like it? I
too.
said, I love it. She said, would you like a T-shirt? I said, I'd love one. She said, what would you like? Of course, I said, black with gold.
Of course, New York.
So guess what? And she said, what would you like on it? I said, never give up. Well, in the mail 2 weeks later comes this beautiful black, gorgeous quality T-shirt with the gold writing. And what does it say? Don't give up.
Like that.
So I called her.
That's awesome. I love that. Everybody should.
I said, I love the shirt. Thank you so much. But it says, don't give up, not never give up. She says, don't worry, I'll send it to you. So now I have never give up, don't give up, never give up.
That's super.
Follow your passion, never give up, and go for it.
Love that.
I love that's really great wisdom, and I couldn't agree with that more. And I have my own merch collection too, where it's all about empowerment. You know, play big, stop playing small.
Right.
You are a miracle. Exactly. Can we talk about your quiz? Can we talk about
yes?
Yes, let's get into it.
So I took your quiz, and I will just mention two of my favorite scents of all time have been Tiffany's and Burberry. And they must have a recurring, unique theme to them. And I now understand that it's from you. I would not know that until meeting you. But there must be a theme, because those are definitely two of my favorite perfumes of all times. So I did take your quiz, and we have a video, which we can run in a second. I just kind of want to understand, and let's run the video, and then you can explain how this.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, let's watch this video.
I give people the scent quiz. It's a really interesting way for them to discover a little bit about their personality. We have 12 questions, and it's just a lifestyle questionnaire. You know, what colors do you like? What kind of foods do you like? What kind of temperatures and seasons do you like? And so the answers that they come up with have been tabulated to coordinate to different fragrance families. So the four main families, your fresh, your floral, your woodsy, your spicy, correlate to the questions and the results from the quiz. So I like to say it's interactive, fun, educational, entertaining experience. And they can do this at home on their own, or with friends or family, and have a product that really ultimately reflects who they are.
I am so in love with this fragrance. It's the only thing I wear. I absolutely adore and love it because it smells like me.
Delicious and cute. I took the quiz. That was wonderful. I took the quiz, and I, selected my favorite house that I wanted to live in, the favorite landscape that appeals to me. And then when I got to the end of it, I was expecting a whole analysis. But in the end, what came about was, okay, let's talk about your fragrance. I'd love to know. I'd love to understand more about how my house and visually how I see my life. How does that immediately tell you, oh, this girl requires this type of scent? I'd love to hear what goes on behind the scenes of the quiz. So the scent quiz really sort of culminates all the questions. And as I said, the piece, they're lifestyle questions. So there's only one question about fragrance, which is what do you like to smell, library books, the ocean, fresh air, or baked bread. And based on the answers, they correlate and it tabulates down to fresh, floral, woodsy, or spicy. So when you take the quiz, the answers come to me and the answers come to the person. And it really is very interesting. I have been able to create about 16,000 fragrances for people who've taken the quiz. And there's only one time it went wrong. I also ask, please, name and gender, whatever gender you are. And so there's one person's name is Sean, and it was spelled S-H-A-W-N, and I didn't see the gender. Maybe they didn't write it or I didn't see it. And I created a fragrance that was a little bit more skewed to a masculine taste. For instance, fresh and sporty and a little bit green and almost woodsy, as opposed to florals, which it's what most women like. But the truth is that anybody can wear flowers, anybody can wear woodsy and spicy. And when I sent it to her and I called up to follow up a week later, I said, Sean, how do you like your fragrance? She said, I didn't like it at all. It's way too masculine. So I apologized. And I said, okay, so this was a female Sean, not a male Sean. And I reconstructed it and sent her, and she loved it. What's very interesting these days is that more and more men are asking for perfume. And I'm not just saying cologne. So the only reason there's a difference between perfume, eau de parfum, eau de cologne, and eau de toilette is the concentration of fragrance
fragrance oil to the formula. And it's just a question of strength. It's not a question, there's no male ingredient or female ingredient. And so women can wear colognes and men can wear perfumes. And now the trend is for more unisex fragrances. Men would love perfumes and florals, and women are happy with spices and woodsy. It's all over the game, all over the field.
Wow, that's very interesting. I mean, personally, I tend to, go across all sectors of it too. And I'm a seasonal kind of dude. Like if it's warm out, I want certain scents. If it's rainy and a little cold,
you want something a little warm to envelop you.
Yeah, if it's winter, I want something a little different.
Right.
So we're about to wrap it up here. We have a few other questions. You are involved with charities and giving back. So how has that helped in your business and in your brand?
Well, our sense of smell, again, is our most powerful, and it connects to memory and emotion. And what is the one aspect that people lose when they have a horrible disease called Alzheimer's? They lose their memory. And it is so tragic. And I'm so thankful that yesterday the FDA just talked about having a new Alzheimer's drug to help people with Alzheimer's. So it means that it's on the radar. People are really thinking about these terrible diseases that affect not just old people, but young people too. So I do a lot of help with Alzheimer's Association to raise funds and awareness, and proceeds from my book are going to go to Alzheimer's Association.
Okay. Thank you for that.
That's so nice. Thank you for supporting the Alzheimer's organization. That's so nice.
And my mom sadly had it, so that's very important to me.
Yeah, that's remarkable. It's really remarkable. And giving back is just, working with gratitude and giving back is such a cornerstone to really leading with a fulfilled business and a fulfilled life. So tell us what's next for you. Where can people find you? Do you have any offers or promotions that you want us to push out for you? We can pop up your website as well.
That would be great. You can find me on ScentPrizes.com. You can find me on Instagram at Scentfully Sue, on Facebook at ScentPrizes and Scentfully Sue. I have quite a few platforms. So if you look at Sue Phillips fragrance, you'll find me. And I'd be delighted to actually create a fragrance. If somebody wants to create a fragrance, go online, take my quiz, and let's see if you're the lucky winner, and I'll create a fragrance for you.
Thank you. And
do that.
Yeah.
Tag us, take a picture, tag us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's wonderful to see you again.
Totally. And you and I have to catch up
again.
We
have to share adjunct professor stories.
Yes. And we'll be right back after these messages,
Thank you, Daniela.
guys.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Thank you. I wish I could get in there and give that hug with you guys, but that'll have to wait.
Look at that.
I have to totally grab your shoulders for the full hug. I'm really, what you've been doing is marvelous. Thank you so much for helping people with COVID, as well as learning this journey about fragrances. And it really is such a part of our life. We are about to jump into a commercial over here. Hi, everyone. I'm Daniela Platt. I'm a creative connoisseur, and I'm known to be a vibrant ball of energy. Welcome to Jungle, my personal collection. For 20 years, I worked at advertising agencies and fashion magazines, building brands that like Skechers and Hugo Boss. I mention this because for the longest time, I wanted to have my own collection. I wanted to create something that had meaning, that had purpose, that made you feel amazing, that would fire you up. This collection, Jungle, came together when a designer friend and I wanted to create something for a gala. It started off with this scarf that you can see that totes spirit animals, coffee, because we live on it, novelty like a hammer, a designer's best friend. It was worn on Zoom screens all around the world, building unity and community, firing people up with energy. The collection Jungle has grown, and I'm so excited. We have t-shirts, bags, scarves available for retail and promotional use. I am so excited because this collection is here to remind you to be your ferocious, outrageous self. Tell me what empowers you. It started off with the main message: stop playing small, play big, you can have it all. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy jungleandcoffee.com. I'm Daniela Platt, the designer, creator of the brand. Thank you so much. And remember, be your ferocious, outrageous self. No membership required, no permission needed. Enjoy.
And wasn't that a great story, Daniela? It feels so great to just not be shooting from my home. I don't know if the world knows, but she and I have we've been shooting this show from home, and just to be on location somewhere else, it's super exciting.
Yes. I've had some retailers and some people say, oh, just come shoot from my store. Or, we're about to bring on Mo. I would love to shoot from one of her factories, or, it's really exciting. I'm always like, is the lighting going to work? Is the sound, the internet? But those are all like logistics. Just go for it. Get out there. Just get back out there. Whatever you need. I think this is really a good time for healing.
So let's dive in and bring Mo. Let's talk about her.
Yeah, let's bring Mo and Alexis on. There. Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hi. Welcome to Looking Good with Daniela and Tea Coffee.
Yes. How are you guys?
Good. How are you guys?
Excellent. I enjoyed watching Sue.
Great.
I used to be in cosmetics and fragrances and worked at, I think I told you guys before, I worked at iMagnin, Saks, all those stores. Yeah.
I recall.
It was fun. So it was fun
what an
listening
inspiring story.
And all of
I felt myself sinking in my chair. Like I could just listen all day.
Yeah.
The show must go on.
Yeah.
And I love that her message is being told around the world. I think that, that's having a huge impact on just the world itself, with those people who haven't been able to smell and taste for so long because of COVID.
Sure.
What an amazing way to use her skills. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't experience that. I generally have allergies. So people are like, can you smell this? And I'm like, no, not really. So I feel like this is something that would affect me as well. Living here in Los Angeles, there's just so much dirt in our air, believe it or not. I just can never smell anything. So when my husband did lose his sense of smell, it's back now.
Oh, wow.
But I'm going to talk to him about it also.
That's excellent.
All right, well, let me introduce you guys. So we have with us Maria Groezinger, also known as Mo. Mo runs a company called LA Apparel Services.
Yes.
She founded the service located in downtown Los Angeles, which is a space for anyone to turn their idea into reality. And she offers consulting, product development, product management of domestic and overseas production. Mo was so lovely to invite her client, Alexis Rheinwald-Jones of the Source Apparel, to join her today. What's really unique from what I'm gathering is, Alexis, you were a nurse, but your dream was to be a fashion designer. And just to give you, that was your dream. And somehow you're going to share with us what was the epiphany that said you are shifting your life and it led you to Mo, and Mo helped you bring your dream to reality. The Source Apparel is born out of your personal values of feminism, caring for the earth, body positivity, and justice for all people. So before we dive into our Q&A, Mo, we have a little video of you behind the scenes working it downtown LA and the factories, which truly gives me like the goosebumps. I love seeing you in action. So why don't we run? Let's see you in action.
I can't wait to see this. Let's look at the video.
Curated really awesome artisans in the LA area as well as beyond. Hi, I'm Mo with LA Apparel Services, and we're at the cutting service right now. And it's an exciting time, right? Because now we're in production. So come on in. We encourage you to come to the factory. We encourage you to be part of this process. Well, here we have a pattern and a pattern card. And one of the things that happens when the pattern maker does it on the computer, then it goes straight to grading, and we can create the markers from there, which you can see coming out of the machine now, and it becomes the print. So this is the marker which the cutter puts on top of the fabric. whether it's hand cut or machine cut, then you're cutting out all those little pieces. This is the swatch card that the cutters have. They know the cuttable width, how many rolls you got in, and so when you have your cut ticket, which tells the cutting service how many pieces you want of each garment, in what color, and then they lay it out. You can see that the pieces have been cut. You saw it being cut by the computer. So now we're taking all those pieces. He'll bundle it by size to take the individual pieces and make sure that when it goes to sewing, they have all the components tied together. So here we have the stack that just came from the cutters. This is all the puzzle pieces to the garment. I like to call it the puzzle pieces. Then you can see that at the machine, they're sewing it together. We help people with small manufacturing quantities, but ultimately our goal is to get you so big that, you know, we're doing thousands of pieces. I've developed a relationship that is so much like a family in LA that everybody's willing to do smaller quantities for me to help you to get started. So you can see goods that are getting ready to go to market. When LA Apparel Service is your partner, we come to the factory. As you can see, as we're finishing up, there's 4 and 5 people working on just packaging, trimming, putting labels and hang tags on. So we want to make sure that when this goes into the bag, things are perfect. All the trimming, you can see they're taking all the little threads off. When this is hanging in the store or hanging on the body, it's going to be perfect. When you ask why LA Apparel Services, ultimately it's all the artisans and contractors that do the work and take special care of all of our clients. One of the most important parts of all of this that producing locally does is that it's the sustainability. It puts all of these people to work. When factories were closed, we were making masks. And everybody was in the garment industry were able to sustain themselves because we were able to give them another outlet. Even though China was having a hard time keeping up with our supply needed for the masks, we were producing millions here in Los Angeles. When you're producing here, not only are you supporting families that are local, we can be proud of what we're wearing made in the USA. We're here to really develop the quality of product that you want to have and bring out the best creativity out of you with our team. I want you to come to us to check it out, work with the designers that we have, the pattern makers. LA Apparel Services is your team, and we will help facilitate you and bring you to market.
Great ending.
Yes. So let's jump into it. So let's talk about it. So Mo, you shared a bit about yourself earlier this year when we spoke with you, but refresh us if you can. So how did you find yourself in the fashion industry, and what are some fun lessons you've learned as an entrepreneur?
I've learned that I have to go with the flow and not be so resistant to it. I came from cosmetics. I got thrown into working with in the apparel industry, and it took me a long time to learn it, about a year, and I cried every day. And so ultimately my goal is to help people who want to start a business. And my job is to bring the collective people together, the facilitator, and then walk people through it. So we've had in our service, we do for you or with you. And Alexis was one of the women who came in and wanted to learn how to do this business and is now running her own company. So that is the ultimate goal, is that you will not need me forever. And, but I'm always here for her. Like, I'm always just a phone call away, and we've become friends and things.
That's
so
true.
It's not an easy business, but having somebody on your side and in your court definitely makes it easier. And, you know, there's many people in this area that do the work that I do, and there's a lot of really good people. I know I come from a heart-centered space where I really want, I could have a lot more clients and I could make a lot more money, but really the goal is for me to still stay one-on-one with the clients. And I do work on other projects that are my own, but when I'm facilitating and working with the clients, I love being there for them.
Thank you for sharing
and
that.
you really are.
My heart completely relates to the desire to work one-on-one and work from a place that's completely heart-centered. We have missed fashion, we have missed our friends, and now we are coming back out of hibernation, and people are coming to you with ideas. I'm curious to hear, have you seen any trends that are happening, or aha moments, what are people approaching you with? What kind of ideas are you getting now that people are being reunited and getting back out there and ready to get dressed and see friends? What trends are you seeing?
I think people want to have a little bit dressier, casual, whether they can interchange pieces together. Everybody is still doing, a lot of people are still doing Zoom, so they don't feel the need to put on a suit and tie, but they want to look pulled together in color. I still have clients that come and want to do T-shirts. And the fact that you can still make millions doing T-shirts still is like, crazy, deliciously good to me. You just need the right timing and the right idea. And what sets you apart is you, like your personality that's creating the garment, just your passion and how much you are enjoying the process. And ultimately, we know that it takes a while to make your money back and make money. So you got to do for the love of it. Right, Alexis?
That's so true. Yes.
You really do. I mean, I'm actually wearing a T-shirt under a blazer here today. Like, you got to, you make it work. And I do apologize for the noise. Upstairs, there are parakeets and puppies. So I apologize for my background noise. But let's talk about the apparel business. The apparel community is a family, as you all know, and you guys must be excited to see friends again with the trade shows happening again. How should new brands plan for the buyers or re-entry, and what to expect? Maybe with the COVID.
Personally, I think it's really important to get out there and meet people and ask questions. Find out how and what people are doing to return, what they need for marketing, branding. Talk to people who specialize in the areas that you're not great at, right? So for me, I can manufacture, I can I can pull things together and bring it speed to market. But my, thing would be, I need help with branding. I need help with doing more of the computer work. So know what you need and what you need help with, and then find the sources of people that can help you. And there's so many people that are very smart at what they do. And it's your job to find them. But referrals, like, find someone you trust, ask them who they use, and go in that direction.
Thank you for dropping that. Yeah, do what you love. Thank you for dropping that wisdom.
Well, let's talk to Alexis a little bit, because I know you guys have worked together. So Alexis, you have a brand, the Source Apparel. Many people I know dream of quitting their day job and building their dream about a fashion line, but very few people do it. but you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell us about your journey. What caused you to leave nursing? How did you find Mo? And where are you at?
Yeah, so I was a nurse for 11 years, and I didn't dislike nursing. If I had done that for my whole career, that would have been okay for me. But fashion was this little thing in the back of my head that was always my what if. Like, what if I'd pursued that? I always loved clothes. I always loved, I love that clothes are art that you can wear and everyone wears, and that there's so much opportunity for personal expression, both for the maker and the wearer. And I just think that's a really fascinating art form. So that was always my what if. And I got to a point in my healthcare career where if I was going to do it, it was a good time. So I took the leap. I had a couple of jobs going at that time. I actually had my own business in healthcare. I quit my job. I shut down my practice. I went to fashion school. And the goal was always to have my own brand because I knew that I liked working for myself. So when I got out of school, I worked in the industry a little bit and I made a few connections, but after a little while, I felt ready to start my own brand. And also I was very aware that I didn't have a huge network. I didn't have years and years of experience. And to be honest, Mo and I can't quite figure out how we came into each other's lives. I had her card and a stack of cards in my desk. And I had talked to several people at this point, and none of them were right. And I was feeling a little frustrated and disappointed. And I found her card. And so I just sent her an email. And she was the first person that that got me. And I felt like believed in me and believed in my brand and thought I could do it and spoke my language. And so from there, it was really a no-brainer to go on this journey together of starting my brand.
Mm-hmm. And I'd also like to say one of the things that when Alexis came in was that she wanted to be inclusive. She wanted to work with plus sizes as well as the traditional, sizing. So she had, she really took care in that and wanted to make sure she didn't even, we had finished the traditional sizing first, but she wouldn't launch until, we had the plus sizes too. So she was, she felt like once she set up her website, she wanted to send the message, and the message was she was inclusive. And she really is environmentally concerned. And she has all these things that are, so beautiful about what she wanted to create, that being a person that was able to support her and her vision was actually really a great thing for us to be able to help her and find her way. So, and she does have beautiful things, very comfortable things.
Thank you. Thank you.
Together. You guys want to talk a little bit about your collection? Like, what surprised you along the way? Tell us a little bit about your collection. What surprised you along the way?
Let's see. So a few things that came up. Although the fashion industry is becoming more and more size inclusive and more and more environmentally conscious, it still is not the norm in the industry. So when I would talk to different people involved in making or marketing my clothes, I would say things like, I don't want to use a plastic poly bag, which is like the poly bag the clear bag that your clothes come in, like when you shop online. And I said things like, I don't want to use that. I don't think it's necessary for my particular way of doing business because I'm sending the things out myself. There are a lot of moments where talking to people like that, there was sort of this do not compute, like people would have a hard time understanding. And I explain a little more and people would get there. But there was a lot of kind of battle around things like that. Or things like, I'm going to offer this style in sizes extra small through 3X. And even though that actually means I have to create 2 different patterns and I basically have to make the whole style twice because you can't just size all the way up and all the way down. The proportions don't remain the same throughout the sizes. People had a really hard time with why are you doing that? Are you going to charge the same price for all the sizes? why don't you just do some and then launch the rest later? So really, it was interesting to me to see how some of those norms in the fashion industry are still at play. But also, as I went through the process, I was seeing, and I continue to see the industry changing as more and more designers espouse these values. So that was really cool.
Absolutely. I mean, it's such a conversation all the time about body inclusivity, size inclusivity, sustainability, circularity. Like, what can we do to make things better? And that's our responsibility as just being fashion apparel insiders. What can we do every day to just be 1% better? And I love, no poly bags, wrapping things like little roll-ups with sausages. There's so many different ways you could do things. But you have to have that ethos that you want to actually do that. So I'm curious, and this is for both of you, you've been able to do it all, specifically Mo, like you've been able to do it all from sample creation to full production, philanthropy, Pilates, like how do you do it all? And I'm curious to know also like how you do it all, but I'm also with Alexis, like, along the journey, how has Mo's expertise been able to help you build your sustainable brand? Kind of two questions together.
Okay, so Alexis has actually taken my Pilates classes too.
Sorry, I can down the block there.
But she's a great teacher.
We've done that together. And for, to giving back in this environment it's just the norm now, right? So when somebody wants advice, I'm more than happy to give advice. And if they want to work with me, then, then great. But I'm willing to help anybody that wants that help. I don't have to attach myself to you, but I am somebody in the industry that has information, and information is only good if I can share it with you. So what I would tell people is to, if you want to email me or look onto my website and send me a message. If you have a question, please ask. And I'll send you my calendar and you can have a 20-minute consultation. And if we're not sustainable and if we're not taking care of each other, then it's really nothing. And during the COVID, my most important aspect was making sure that my factories were being taken care of. And they actually did really well doing masks, right? So they made money doing masks. So we're here, like, all of us are here, and more than happy to help anybody that wants that extra little booster. I have the energy, okay, first of all, like I have the energy. You can call me, text me anytime.
She does.
And
we want to thank you.
You don't even know what it feels like to like sit still.
Right.
It's not a good feeling.
I feel the same way here too. We want to thank you, Mo and Alexis, for coming on this afternoon.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Thank you, both of you.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
I just want to ask Alexis, did we put up your website? I want to make sure that everybody sees your website. And I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. Mm-hmm. Where can people find you?
You can find me at Sure. WeTheSource.com. WeTheSource.com is our website and online shop. And then we're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest at WeTheSource.
Sure. And I think you have some offers. You have a sale coming up. Do you want to mention about it?
Yes, we have a 35% off sale going right now through Friday. We hardly ever do site-wide sales, so take advantage. Come shop with us.
Thank you so much for joining us today. So, Terrence, would you like to close us out?
So thank you. So we hope you love our show. We're so happy to be back, and please support us by contributing monthly on our website. Follow the show at Looking Good with Danielle and T Coffee by following each of us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Daniela Platt and Terrence Antonio and/or Terrence Coffee. We are here to inspire you to create, innovate, and be the best you. And we will see you until the next time. Stay fashionable.
Thank you guys. I'm Daniela Platt. This is a treat. We are here. We produce events, projects. We have our show. Join us. Come on. As Terrence said, come on. Looking Good with Daniela and Tea Coffee. We will see you soon. And just a reminder, if you want my ebook, it's free at danielaplatt.com. Thank you. Bye.